Hello and welcome to my second version of my year ahead reading. So this reading is more of a general view to the year ahead. It focuses on aspects of your life with a brief outlook at the previous year, and there's also pointers on how to overcome any issues and embrace victories. So for me, I personally prefer looking at a month at a time and then looking back like as the year progresses, but I know some people do prefer to have a look at certain aspects of their life, which is why I created this spread, and I wanted to share a video on it as well. So for this reading, I'm going to be using my Dark Mansion tarot deck, and I'm also going to be using my Oracle of, what was it, like Light and Dreams. I was going to call Light and Shadows. And I really like the contrasting artwork in these. So I really like the kind of Tim Burton-esque style of the Dark Mansion. And then we've got this lovely, delicate, very almost fairy tale in the Oracle of Light and Dreams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little shuffle, and then I'm going to go through how I lay the cards out, how I would read them. So first up is we start with a card for the previous year, and I always place this right at the beginning because I feel like this is the root and this is where you're coming from. So you can either do this with a tarot card or an oracle card. I think I might switch it out and use an oracle card in that position today. As I've said in my previous videos, if you want to use tarot for all of them, do. If you want to use oracle for all of them, do. If you like mixing up, then mix it up. Big part of tarot for me is that everyone finds their own way of doing things. You find your own style, and so it's really important for me that you kind of pick and choose, you know, take what you like, use what you find useful, and then adjust anything that I share so that it suits you and your practice. So yeah, I'm going to use an oracle card for number one. Now I did drop these oracle cards on the floor the other day, so they're all upside down and back to front, and so I will be turning this over to make sure it is the right way up. So I'm going to pop that down on the base. So this is last year. So this is a card to kind of sum up the previous year, maybe give me a lesson from the previous year, maybe give me an idea of the theme or the energy, what I'm coming from before we move on to where we're going to. So the next cards, I'm going to place 7 cards in a row. And these are each going to correspond with a different part of your life. So now there's 2 different ways of, for me, that I tend to do this. So sometimes I will shuffle, thinking of just, you know, like the year ahead, things like that. Then I'm going to place down 2, 3, 4. Now I need another 3 cards here, but what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to show you my other way of drawing cards. So each card has a position. So 2, 3, 4, that's career, money and home life. So the next one is romance. So now I'm just going to shuffle my deck and just think about, what will my romantic life be like in the next year? Is there a lesson? Is there some news coming? Or is it just going to be plain sailing from here on in? So I just think about that one question, shuffle, and then lay the card. And then I think about the next question. So after that, it's my spiritual life. So will my spiritual journey continue? Is there anything new going to appear in my spiritual journey? Will I start a new part of that journey? Thinking just about that, shuffle, 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 and then lay that card. And then the final one is my health and well-being. So again, I could have just been shuffling this thinking, ooh, 2023, doing all of that, and then laid out the 6 cards. Or you can think of each one individually, shuffle, and then draw. So the next 2 cards we're going to come to is an obstacle in your life, and then how I can handle this obstacle. So I'm going to think, what obstacle may I face next year? what could be coming my way. And lay that down. And then what I'm going to do, for the how to face it or how to tackle it, I'm going to add an oracle card in there. And the next one is, what's a highlight coming my way next year? Seriously running out of room. I do apologise. I'm thinking of what a highlight might be. And then I'm going to think of, how can I embrace this highlight? How can I truly get the best out of it? How can I make sure that when this thing happens, I truly appreciate what it is? And then the final card, which is to be laid at the top, is an energy for the year. Now, if you have previously chosen your card for the year ahead, you could have laid that out right at the beginning of this. This is also another option for selecting your card for the year ahead. So this will give you the chance to select a card, and this energy can be brought forward for the entire year. And it's a card that you might want to connect with numerous times through the year to make sure you're keeping in connection with that energy. So if you watched my previous video on how to select your card for the year, if you've done that, you can place that right up there. But if not, pop that up the top there. So I've just zoomed out a bit so you can actually see better. As I said, I'm going to work on my setup, and I'm going to make sure there's more room for you to be able to see these spreads easier. So the way I would then read these cards is I'd start down at the bottom. So I take time to have a look at this card and think about how this connects to my previous year. How the image makes me feel, you know, if it's an oracle card or if it's a tarot card you're not used to or anything like that. Have a little look in the book, see how that connects with you. Make sure you make some good notes and think about, if this was my previous year, how am I going to go forward on the year ahead of me, remembering the lesson or keeping the energy from this, and just being able to then move forward and continuing on my journey. This row of cards here, as I said, they all focus on an area of your life. So I would encourage you to take time with each card. So in a previous year ahead reading, I've gone around all 12 cards, flipped each card, and I've spent no more than a few minutes on each card. Whereas these, I would encourage you to spend 5, 10, 15, as long as you feel drawn to with each individual card, to really see what it's saying to you for the year ahead. That's why this is a reading I would recommend giving at least an hour for, because you really want to take your time. So the first one is career. And then we move on to money, home life. That's a great card for your home life. Romantic life. Probably not the best card for your romantic life, but you can find positives there too. Your spiritual life. And then health and well-being. And then up here we have the obstacle you might face, and then how to overcome it. And straight away, I just love the contradiction of these two images, because you think of, you know, an obstacle you might face being, you know, being a little too stern, being a little too set in your ways, and then just how soft the chameleon is next to it. So this is why I love using this deck together, because you see such a lovely contrast between the images. And then these are a highlight. So there's a highlight there, and then how to best enjoy it. And then finally, you can get your energy for the year, or your card for the year. And as I said, if this is one you've previously chosen, you can pop there. And like with all your readings, once the cards have all been laid out, really take time to see how they all interact with each other. So you see the same suits or same numbers, the same theme coming up. If you see like, oh, I see a lot of blue, or there's a lot of green, let yourself be drawn to what is really pulling you and what is bringing all of the cards together. See how these interact with each other as a pair, and then two different pairs together. See how these interact with the lower row. So really take time to really look at all the cards and appreciate what each one has to say to you. And as I said, if you like to kind of weave through the year, this energy for the year ahead, if you've placed it there consciously, then you can then pull that out for the rest of the year. Or you can do this draw and then just keep coming back to this card, because this card is the energy for the year ahead. So, and I know the Five of Cups here can look a little bleak, but there is, you know, there's hope. There is hope in the background. There is a sunrise in the background. There are good things coming. So it's just making sure that you then find a way to connect with that energy and bring the best from it. So I hope you found this video useful. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I go through my tarot spread and how I have created this and use it myself. As I said, the idea of tarot is that you can create your own way of doing things. So don't forget to join the group. I'll share all the links below, and I'll also share links for the private study club too. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!